Week 5 NFL Thursday Night Football. Underdog Pick'em. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Craig Ben, aka Cash Keg, back with an Underdog Pick'em video. Week 5 NFL. We got the Bucks and the Falcons playing each other. Got 3 picks for you here. We're going to go into a little bit more detail on kind of trying to read the tea leaves on the running back situation in Tampa Bay. I talked a little bit about it earlier in this week when I did some videos, but I did a little bit more digging, and we're just going to kind of discuss it and see which side do you want to be on, because I do these videos not just to put out picks, but kind of give you the information that I see, and then you decide which side do you want to be on. That's what I'm really trying to do with these videos. Give you that information that I find. You make the decision on which side you want to be on. So if you don't have the Underdog account, use that promo code CashKeg and get yourself that free pick and up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Again, it is that easy. You'll also be eligible for a free month of our elite subscription service over at dailyedgesports.com. And I'll show you one of our Underdog tools that we do have. We have the Rivals tool to kind of show you what it's about today. So with that, we'll dive in. Let's talk some football. All right, Underdog Pick'em is up on the board here. Again, we are going to talk about Thursday Night Football. The Bucks at the Falcons here. I don't know what it is about the Falcons. I'm just like never super excited to watch them. Never really have been. I felt like, I don't know about you guys, but I felt like the red zone last week, I watched more of that Saints and Falcons game than I watched anything else, and it was tilting me for whatever reason. But anyways, I digress. Let's talk about 3 plays that we do like here. We'll dive into the whole running back situation on Tampa Bay at the end, because I'm going to kind of go in a little bit more detail there, and I will bring up and show you that tool. So first one we're going to go here. I've talked about this one in the past. Bijan Robinson. Now, Bijan, this is a great matchup for him. Running backs against Tampa Bay are get almost 61 yards through the air, receiving yards allowed. They are second worst in the NFL this year. And Bijan, does really well out of the backfield. We know that. And it's a situation where even this line's moved up a little bit, opened up, I think it's 24.5. I put that out earlier in the Discord. So if you're an elite subscriber, I put that out earlier in the Discord. It's moved to 27.5. I think, this is perfectly fine. I think I'm perfectly fine playing this up to about 30, honestly. And then if you want to take a little bit crazier one, the 27.5 he's cleared in 2 of the 4 games he's played this year, but a little crazier one, you could take the longest reception. Anytime he gets in space, he is going to get downhill in a hurry. And he's actually cleared the 12.5 longest reception in all 4 games, 14, 13, 17, and 26. So again, depending on how you want to go, reception yards or longest reception, I think either of them are fine, to be honest with you. Again, I'm okay playing this up to, say, 29.5. If it moves past that, I'd be a little bit more nervous about playing it. Longest reception, I think, is always kind of a crapshoot. But if you go back and look at him, again, when he gets in space, he rolls downhill, man. Last 5 games, including last year, he has cleared it. And if we go back all the way to last year, he's cleared this in 7 of the last 10 games. But, yeah, either one of those I think are perfectly fine. Next one we're going to go talk about, we're going to head on over and talk about Ray McCloud. Going up against Tampa Bay here, good old Ray. I think there's a couple ways you could look at taking shots at this Atlanta wide receiver core. I really don't want to look at London. I don't want to look at Pitts, really. They're so up and down depending on what defenses they play. They excel at. I don't know. It's a weird situation still with them. So I'm going to look at Ray here. He's been even more consistent, really, than the rest of them. And the targets have been there. 7, 5, 3, and 7 targets over the last 4 games. That game against KC only had 3 targets, but had 7 last week, caught 6 balls. Again, going up against Tampa Bay. I think this is just too low of a number, to be honest with you. 34.5 reception yards for him. Kind of like this. He's had 52, 42, 17, and 52 in the 4 games that he has played. Not super excited about playing this. What I really wanted was to take Chase McLaughlin is what I wanted, field goals, but they don't have them over here. They've already took this off. That was one of my favorite plays. You can take kicking points if you want to. He just needs 2 field goals and 2 extra points to get there. Kicking points, you get 3 points for a field goal, 1 point for an extra point. So if you think he's going to kick 2 field goals, which I do, and they get 1 touchdown, he'll at least, he'll at least push. And then if he gets 2 touchdowns and get 2 extra points and 2 field goals, he'll have 8 and he'll get there. So I'll throw this one up here just because I like it. I like it if you can get 6.5. There's some spots out there you can get that at 6.5. If you don't like the Ray one, I didn't want to talk about the same one because I like Chase so much, and that's why I brought up Ray here. But really, either one of those, or if you want to throw them in here, I'll leave them up here. I'll throw them in here. But Chase, I really wanted the over 1.5 field goals. I brought that up earlier in the videos, and we got on that one early. But I think 7 kicking points is still in play, to be honest with you. All right, let's go over to the Tampa Bay situation here between Rachaad White and Bucky Irving. The rookies just looked very explosive. So if we headed over to our rival tool, as you can tell, if we have an Underdog, we got a couple tools here. Regular plus EV, which a lot of places have out there, but we have the projection EV, which adds plus EV and our custom projections. And then the rivals tool takes our projections and kind of, puts them together, because what you're getting with rivals, as you can see here, is you're getting 2 players like this. And then Bucky Irving is basically getting spotted 5.5 rushing reception yards. So he's starting at 5.5. Rachaad White is starting at 0. So if you're ever wondering what that is, adjustment, that just means that Bucky Irving is starting at 5.5 and Rachaad White is starting at 0. So if you head on over here and look at our tool, we have Bucky Irving over Rachaad White is the way we have it, and it just takes our projections and throw into that. It's very easy to read. Same thing with Chase McLaughlin over Koo. We have, it'll tell you who to take it over. So I think you can play this one. I'll talk a little bit about more of this with this situation. So if you dug into the numbers a little bit and looked a little bit heavier, you could just watch it by the game too. If you're watching these games, Rachaad White is just not getting the push. He's always been a great receiving running back, right? Last year, extremely well. Well, Bucky Irvin did that in Oregon and did extremely well. He was a 3-down back, and he excelled in that at Oregon, and he showed he can do that at this level. And he just looks way more explosive, right? I mean, he's hitting the holes a lot harder. He's averaging over 5 yards a carry, where Rachaad White's under 3 yards a carry. The touches are the big thing. First 3 weeks of the season, Rachaad White had 100% of the red zone carries, and Bucky Irving on week 4 had all the red zone carries, and Rachaad White didn't. So is it anomaly? Is it just one of those games where it was just he was in there when it happened? Are they finally starting to see what they see on film and seeing what Bucky Irving's just a better back? I still think they're going to use Rachaad White in the passing game, but if you're looking at what they've been doing in terms of just rush attempts, the last 3 weeks, 10, 6, and 10 for Rachaad White, and then you head on over to Bucky Irving rush attempts, and he is sitting at 7, 9, and 10. So his is increased. He actually had more in the Denver game. So if he's going to start taking over this backfield, I think he's going to take it over sometime, just because the eye test is telling you that he's the better back. We gotta get ahead of that, right? With Bucky. So I kind of like, if you want to take the rivals, this is risky because, you are looking at, just assuming that the trend is going to continue, and the trend that Bucky's going to get more and more of the work, and Rachaad White's going to fall off a little bit. So, if you wanted to take, rushing reception touchdowns for Bucky, and you think he's going to get the red zone looks again, and you want to take a higher multiplier at 1.25x or 2x, I have no problem with that. The 1.5 receptions, I like that for Bucky Irving as well. You can look at that one. And then, on the Rachaad White side, if you think he's going to get less and less work, then I like the lower than 16.5 rush and reception yards. I was looking for the rush yards. I think they're 33.5. They don't even have them up here anymore. So that tells you that that's not. And I like the lower I like the lower 9.5 fantasy score from him too. If we don't think he's going to get the red zone looks, then I don't think he's going to, he needs that touchdown to get this. And one thing about Underdog is it is half point PPR. So you're not getting your full point per reception. And that's where he's going to get a lot of his fantasy value. I don't want to take this on PrizePicks because it's full point PPR. And if he still catches 3 or 4 balls out of the backfield and he gets 30 or 40 yards, but doesn't have a lot of rush attempts and success there, he could still get there. But with having the half point PPR, I still think you could take lower than this with Rachaad White. He hasn't cleared it in the last 3 games. If we kind of look what he did, he had a lot of reception yards last game that kind of got him there. But if you look at his fantasy score numbers in the last 3 games, he is at 2.8, 6, and 9.4. He only cleared it that first game against Washington. So again, look at taking the unders on White if you think that this backfield is slowly changing, or do you think on a short week like this they're going to continue to split the backfield and let White run more? That's just kind of something you have to think about when you're making these decisions. And that maybe that correlate for you, right? Maybe you start taking Rachaad White lower than fantasy score, and then you're like, okay, but then I think Bucky Irving is going to have more receptions, and he's going to take more of the workload, or more than rushing reception yards, or more rush attempts, or he's going to get that touchdown. Those can kind of correlate if you go higher on Bucky Irvin and lower on White if you want to play both of them together. So just keep that in mind. Again, I know I kind of rambled on a little bit, but I just like talking through these kind of situations and kind of making that decision on your own. Again, I talked about it a little bit briefly, I think on the PrizePicks video, that I said that, Bucky White was going to probably overtake this backfield at some point, but I kind of just wanted to give you a little bit more analysis on it and my thought process and where you see fit. So again, depending on how you see that, play it. If you just want to avoid the situation, I completely understand that as well. But I do think it's a situation that we kind of have to monitor. And on a single game like this, it's tough to kind of just wipe off a complete backfield and not really dig into it too much. So with that, again, I hope you appreciate this video. I love doing these guys for you. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. I'll do my best to keep knocking these out for you. It's been a lot of fun. I love you guys. I'll see you on the flip side. Deuces.